So, first of all, I would like to welcome you to Sweden and to Gothenburg. It's a really pleasure to have you here. And you're going to give a lecture soon. So before you go there, I would like to ask you some questions. And first of all, maybe a short introduction. You're Dr. Stefen Koubi. You hold a position at the University of Marseille, I understand, as an associate professor. And then you have a private practice in the same city, and you hold a smile consultation in Paris.
It's true.
And then I heard that you were given the gold molar of the university. What is that? Golden molar of the university.
For teachers, this is a milestone.
Okay.
Because this is a prize which is given by the student, only by the student, as best teacher of the year. So for me, it means everything regarding to what I want to bring to the university and all the things that I can get from my students. So it's a give and take.
It's a very great honor.
This is my personal great honor, yes.
I see.
Nobody can understand it, but me, I know. What does it mean?
Sounds very good. Then you are a founder of the La Facette Institute of La Facette.
Yes.
What is that?
It's a training center that I have created 5 years ago, even 6 years ago, and it is fully dedicated to the use of the laminate veneers, because I believe that the veneers today is one of the most modern tool in dentistry, because it fit with being minimally invasive, using adhesive protocol, and going for aesthetic results. So I think that this is really the tool customized for the dentistry of tomorrow. And what we wanted to do through this training was to educate people to play with this tool, but in different topic, not only for cosmetic, but also in functional as well. It will be also the topic of this afternoon lecture.
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember that when we first saw the treatment alternative, laminate veneers, many people said that, well, it will never work because you can't only bond to a surface, you need to have some mechanical retention. But now we know that actually laminate veneers is one of the most predictable treatments that we have in prosthetic dentistry.
It's a gold standard of success rate.
Yeah, I do agree.
95%.
Fantastic. Very, very nice. So Hilal Kuday, you are a dental technician and you are graduated from the University of Istanbul.
Yes.
And you work in your own lab?
Yes, it is.
Since many years, and you have a training center as well?
Yes. I have a small lab, and then I have training facilities inside. I'm a single worker in my lab. Nobody is doing my plaster. I do my own plaster, my frameworks, my design, delivery, everything, cleaning the lab.
Okay, that's good. Do you think it's important that you make the plaster works? Isn't that something that you could let other people do, or do you think it's good for the precision that you keep control of the complete chain?
Actually, as working in a single person in the lab is something that I can do to feel myself successful in my business. Let's say I try to work with many other colleagues together in the lab, but I couldn't do it. This is out of my knowledge. So I cannot say more than 10 people, it's not so delicate to create the work. I cannot say that, but let's say I couldn't manage. So this is my kind of work. This is how my mental way are happy while I'm doing my restorations.
So for how many years have you been working together?
Now this year it's our 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
So
10th anniversary.
Yeah.
It's maybe even better than it's more than a couple.
Sounds almost like a marriage.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a marriage. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
We travel together.
You travel together. Yes.
The only thing is we don't break the glasses.
No, you don't. I see. So what do you say? Stefan, what do you think is important when you in the cooperation between you and your dental technician, what is the most important thing?
Everything is important. First of all, of course, you need to have the same vision of the dentistry. Otherwise, you can't go in that way and the lab is going in that way. Otherwise, it is an everyday fight and there is no place for the fight. So if I say I want to go for minimally invasive restoration, the lab has to fit with this expectation. So this means that he needs to have the knowledge, the technique to go very thin, but to still keep the mechanical and the aesthetic outcome of the restoration. This is first things. But the technical part is not enough because you have plenty of good technicians. And you will have more and more good technicians in the future because digitalization will, of course, sometimes push certain things, but will bring some new things. So if you are thinking about the super top technician, digital will be always lower than them. If you are thinking about the medium average of level in terms of anatomy, knowledge, surface texture, the machine is able to integrate a better average quality. So this is all about digital. If you are from the top, they are not able to follow you. If you are from the very low level, it will bring a lot. So I think that the biggest interest in digital is to be able to improve the regular level. But to work together since more than 10 years is not about only a digital or being a good technician or being a nice dentist. It's about affinities. Affinities is the most precious things when you want to spend time with people because it is something that is not completely predictable, of course, and not arithmetic. It's about connecting. It's about vibration. When you are with some people, you connect well or you don't connect. If you don't connect, unfortunately, there is nothing to do. Even if this is the best of the best of the best. But you don't want to spend time with the best of the best if you are not able to connect. It's all about human being. And even now, in the digital era that we are now facing, this part will be even more and more important because this is what creates the beauty of the being alive. And that's why we are completely on the same line because we share the things in the same way and we have a good vibration together. It's all about having positive vibes when we are on a case. We want to make a case. I am placing 100% of my energy. He's doing 150% as well. And this is how we can get something good.
Sounds really good. Hilal, but do you think that does this make it possible to make better reconstructions? When you have this good cooperation, do you think it affects your way of making good with a final product that is better, or maybe it's the same? Is it only a feeling, or is this actually something that can be seen in the end product?
Definitely. This question is so precious because I think it's a meaning of human touch. We gain experience together. We grow together on the cases to cases, and we accept new technologies together for the chair side, for the lab side. This is really important to have a cooperation and have an experience together. So if you have a good cooperation, doesn't matter your connection with digital or analog on the phone, doesn't matter what it is, you need to know the guy who is going to treat the patient as a dental technician. And how is the skill of the hand and what is expectation. For example, simple example, placing the cord, how deep it is and how thick is the cord. Usually we don't know that information on the impression or STL files, or what is the behavior of the soft tissue. If it's a thin biotype or a thick biotype, we need to communicate very well. Now, of the sensitive parts, for example, implant-supported restorations. I cannot feel the STL files. I cannot see the resilience of the soft tissue. I cannot I visually actually see on my plaster where is the bone is. I need to communicate with the chair side, and we need good cooperation. So to do that, we need to gain experience. Yeah,
And this experience is gained over time, so that if you don't work for a long time with your dentist or your dental technician, then there is a risk that you miss something because you.
Definitely.
So I don't know if you heard about in Sweden we have something that is called public procurement, meaning that you make agreements with dental labs that makes you change dental technician maybe every second, every third year. Have you heard about something like that? What do you think? How can that affect the treatment?
Sounds to me it's so mechanic, right? Sounds to me it's like they take out the human touch and they just make them like machines who is working into the system. If you go out of the system, you cannot survive.
No, I think it's a shame for this type of communication, because after 2 years, this is probably the period where the team start to fit well. And just when things are going well, now you have to stop and to reset with somebody new. So it is like if I ask you, you have to change your wife every 2 years. After 2 years, it's the best. So after 2 years, everybody is cool. Everybody now start to understand how the other is thinking, working, the habits. So we arrive in a cool period. And now you have to restart, making the seduction, going like you are the most beautiful, I am inviting you to the restaurant every night, going with the flower 3 times a week. No, I am joking. But
so many Swedish dentists, they divorce, they are into divorce all the time.
Oh,
every second year maybe. Well, that is a pity.
No, seriously, to go back to the topic, I don't think that this is the good ingredient to get the good recipes of the success, because it's terrible to change every 2 years, because you have too much information that you have to share, and slowly you start to go. When you work for a long time, you have a kind of an automatic protocol. You know, I know how I have to document and which type of file. And today with digital, we can send STL and only file through the web. It's beautiful. We are not living in the same country, as you can imagine.
No.
And we can connect in 2 seconds. He has something to ask. He just send me on Dropbox. He plays something, or he send me an email. So it's fantastic to have this flow. But if you cut the flow every 2 years and you have to reinstall a new flow,
then we have a problem.
Yeah, I think that, unfortunately, I know also this story in France from a different point of view. But when everything is just a matter of economic situation, the only thing is the guy who takes this decision, they won't have to make, the recall after 2 or 3 years of all of these things. And when you will have a lot of issues, the politics won't be there. They will be somewhere else. But the dentist will have to take care of this, because at the end it's all about dropping down the average level of dentistry.
And patient will going to suffer.
That's it.
Hilal, obstacles in the communication and collaboration between dentists and dental technologists. Can you give us some examples of something that is really frustrating being a dental technician when you get maybe something from a dental clinic?
For example, in Turkey, we don't respect each other works that much. We need to respect each other time, and then the expectation of the information is so valuable. For example, just sending the impression to the dental technician to make them work on some regular shape, it's so frustrated. Nowadays, in the digital technology, we can take very nice pictures, we can plan on the picture, and we can take the shade together with the gray cards to document the value level of the color. We have many options. Actually, as a dental technician who born into analog world, we need to accept those new techniques. So I expect from my dentist to respect our timeline and respect the information that we require from the chair side. For example, wax up trial in the mouth means mock-up, or calculating the thickness. It gives me a successful result if I have a chance to have a homogeneous restoration all around the preparation. That gives me opportunity to produce nice restorations. So this is kind of things that I need to require.
Do you think that the CAD/CAM era have changed the work that the way that you work in a tremendous way, or maybe there are some, are you still working with the old analog techniques?
Sure, definitely CAD/CAM is only a tool. This is not another world. This is not you must need. This is the thing we must follow, we must watch, and we need to have the couple of things maybe if we accept in our analog world. In our lecture, we will show some parts that we need from digital world to put into our work to solve the case. Some of the work that we manage, it still needs to be finalized in analog way. For example, waxing up with your tool, it's perfect. For example, if you scan something, your screen it looks like a 3D, but it's not 3D actually. It's only 2D, just a flat screen. The real 3D is in your hand. You can turn the model, you can see the depthness. Your eyes has an aperture level. It allows you to control the depth of the material. This is more precious than the STL files actually. STL files makes our job much easier. For example, I can receive a STL file from Marseille, from France to Turkey in a second, to print out in 20 minutes in 50 micron resolution to make my wax very fast. Then I can scan again to send it back to Dr. Koubi to print out in his office to try it the next day. This is a huge opportunity that we can accept it, yes.
So you both have 3D printers to be able to, or no?
No, not yet. Probably in the future, but not yet. At the moment, I'm not the one who are using a lot, but I prefer to. But I think that scanning will be for sure. A scanner will be for sure the tool to improve the communication. But I'm not sure that the dental office, if you think in a private way, has to be like with the equipment of a lab. You can, but I don't think that it is mandatory today.
No. You can.
For me, the biggest change for the dentist in digital is just the way to communicate with the lab. But the biggest change is for the lab, because the lab already made the shift 10 years ago. So no more plaster and only digital scanning, 3D printing model, and milling, block, and staining. No more old material.
No. So what about you? You work quite a lot with laminate veneers, I understand, and there are of course many different materials that you can choose from. And if you choose from a material, for instance, if you would like to have something that is really, really nice looking, do you prefer? Do you sometimes make the old porcelain techniques, or do you prefer to use glass ceramics, maybe lithium disilicate, or maybe lucite-based glass ceramics? What is your idea on?
Honestly, I don't like to play with 1,000 different material in my everyday practice. I believe in versatility and in standardization for the everyday practice. Otherwise, it doesn't fit with the economic reality. We can show beautiful things, but at the end of the day, our life has to be simple. So, me, for example, since more than 15 years, I use for veneers, buccal veneers, I use only lithium disilicate like IMAX restoration. Most part of them has been layered, not only press and stain or mill and stain, because I was a little bit disappointed by the final outcome. But now, since 1 year, I start to change a little bit my vision. And when you look at what we can achieve, and this is also part of what we will present as the first part this afternoon, when we see what we can achieve with only block, with multi-shade included, like Impress CAD, which is not a lithium disilicate, it's a feldspathic block, and that you have just to layer, you will get the good shape, the good value, and thanks to the improvement of the staining that Hilal is able to do, you can honestly mimic to be very close to what we get with the layering technique, if we are honest. And that's why this is the trend. The trend is not to layer. I mean, I love it, but we have to be a little bit realistic. This is not the future. It was my past, but it won't be my future probably. And when I look at what I can get thanks to the talent of Hilal, because digital is a promise, if this promise is in good hand, don't misunderstand. If you ask the dentist to make 6 veneers by himself, taking care of the morphology and of the staining, you will see what is the difference, because this is what we will present this afternoon. So for me, digital is a promise if I stay with my diamond. Otherwise, forget it.
Sounds really good.
But we deeply believe affordable restorations.
Yes.
So we have to put this one on the side. So even the restoration is slightly off about the transitional line, it can be acceptable. But we are looking for a little bit better, a little bit the most respected solution for the transitional lines and the emergence profile. So that's why we compare these two different knowledge.
Okay, okay.
Just going back to your answer about like refractory dye or platinum foil, this is the gold standard, and I have a lot of respect for that, so nothing against. But for me, it doesn't fit with the existing period.
No.
But you will still have some good artists able to follow it, but this is not first what I am looking for my everyday practice, because the result that I can get with good technician is very good too. And it doesn't fit with the economic reality and for mechanical property too. So that's why I have a lot of respect, because they showed us the way thanks to this technique. But today, no, I don't believe in it.
We have it in the toolbox, but we have our favorite tools that we work quite a lot with, maybe that is how we see it.
Exactly.
Some dentists and dental technicians think that we are standing to a paradigm shift when it comes to dental materials, and think that maybe monolithic zirconium dioxide will make our daily practice different. What do you think about that?
I will answer as a dentist, and after you will answer as a ceramist or technician. From my point of view, the paradigm shift is not in the zirconia. The paradigm shift in the philosophy. So for me, there is a period without adhesive material and a period with adhesive material. What is the big change is before we ask the tooth structure to be adapted to the mechanical requirement of the material. Whatever will be the thickness, we will have to cut to adapt to that. Today, we completely shift to now the main pillar is we don't want to touch. So the material has to fit with going very thin and bond and improve the mechanical and the final aesthetic outcome. So it's a complete different, it's two different worlds. Zirconia for me is not at all a game changer. When you go for a crown, it can be with zirconia, with lithium disilicate, with porcelain metal fuse. You have to cut. What is the change? 0.1, 0.2. So for me, it's a discussion for the bar, but not for scientific things. Zirconia is not a game changer. The problem is the company invests a lot in this, and they want a little bit to let the dental community know that this is a way to do things. But today, we still know that for example, for all of this adhesive dentistry, zirconia is not very welcome because of the bonding capacity. Whatever will be the chemistry of the new resin cement that you will have. But the question is, you need to play with a material who have in his own DNA this ability to be etched with Frederick etching or not. And zirconia is not in this. Of course, it will go for monolithic restoration for posterior with multi-shade, whatever you want, but for me, no more thin partial restoration in a delicate way, and I don't believe in bonding protocol for veneers using some zirconia material. I believe maybe in zirconia for some prosthetic restoration in the pros way, which means crown. But this is not at all a game changer from my point of view. But we will have more and more zirconia, but it doesn't change my everyday life.
But then it's mechanical retention.
Yes.
Yes.
But maybe in the lab is different, but I'm not sure.
So for me, if I can answer the question like a title of the zirconium dioxide, yes, there is some benefits of the zirconium dioxide because it's a soft tissue friendly material around the thigh bases, abutments, so that we can accept. And then this is a material that can transmit the light. It's perfect. But in a biologic side, there's nothing that much hard in our body. So we can accept zirconium dioxide in certain places. For full monolithic restorations, it needs to be get softer to accept. From my point of view, it needs to be softer because, yes, they say when you polish, it became much easier to accept the occlusal pressure. But again, it's very hard material. I can choose much softer material, much easier production in my daily routine with press technology. So why would I choose zirconium dioxide like a full monolithic zirconium dioxide? Nowadays, actually, it's not easy to stain, to look nicer. Actually, you need more skill than layering technique to make them look nicer. Except if you're going to follow for Hollywood style smile. It's okay for Hollywood smile, but as an aesthetic point of view, it needs to be changed a little bit more.
If I can resume a little bit the importance of zirconia, for me, zirconia is like when you wanted to go from iPhone 6 to iPhone 7. Bonding, bonded ceramic is going from Nokia to iPhone.
I see. That will be the last word. And thank you very much, Hilal and Stefan.
Thank you.
It's been a great pleasure to discuss with you, and I'm quite sure that we could continue. How long?
Hours and hours.
Such a pleasure. But we are eager to listen to a presentation.
Yeah.
And that will be in F3.
F3.
And it's 15:45.
Okay.
So thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Jag är framtiden.